true believers, and welcome to episode 14 of the Mighty Marvel Mayhem Show. I'm your host, Kevyn Knox. And as always, if you like what you see, click on the thumbs up. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe. Okay, let's get going. Let's set the scene. It's 1960, and the fine folks over at DC Comics have created the Justice League of America. They've taken established heroes like Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and Aquaman and Green Lantern and the Flash and the Martian Manhunter and combined them into the Justice League of America, and it was a hit. Now this is the issue that inspired Martin Goodman, the publisher of Marvel Comics at the time, to go to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and say, I want something like this. I want a superhero comic to compete with the Justice League. And that's when Stan and Jack made Fantastic Four #1. Now, the FF wasn't really Marvel's true answer to the JLA, because with the JLA, you had Superman and Batman, these big established heroes. With the Fantastic Four, you had brand new heroes, a great comic, but not really the true answer to it. The true answer to DC's Justice League from Marvel Comics is the Avengers, and that came 2 years later in the summer of 1963 with Avengers 1, also made by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Now, Avengers #1 brought together 5 of Marvel's established heroes, also all created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee in other issues. They are, chronologically, the Ant-Man, who first appeared in Tales to Astonish #27, the Incredible Hulk, who first appeared in Incredible Hulk #1, the Mighty Thor, God of Thunder, Lord of Asgard, who first appeared in Journey into Mystery '83. Then you have Iron Man, who first appeared in Tales of Suspense #39, and finally, the wonderful winsome Wasp, who first appeared in Tales to Astonish #44. And they were all brought together as the Avengers in Avengers #1. Now, if you only know the Avengers from the MCU and not the comics, then you should read the comics. But if you only know from the MCU, you're probably looking here and thinking, well, the Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, yeah, but where's Hawkeye? Where's Black Widow? Where's Captain freaking America? For that case, where's Nick Fury? Well, you see, the MCU changed a few things. Now, yes, Hawkeye and later Black Widow would become members of the Avengers. They would both be team leaders at some point, too. And, of course, Captain America would come and be one of the greatest Avengers of all time. Now, in this point in history, poor Captain America is still frozen in a block of ice somewhere north of the Arctic Circle. But he will be coming soon. He will be coming soon. As for Nick Fury, well, other than a bit of retconning after the movies came out, he really didn't have much to do with the Avengers in the comics. Again, if you only know the Avengers from the MCU, then you probably still know the origin story, because it's pretty much the same in the comics as in the movies. It's Loki being the asshole that Loki is. Now, as we all know, Loki has a hard-on for Thor. Now, get your minds out of the gutter. That's not what I meant. They're brothers, for crying out loud. No, stop that. They're brothers. You know what I meant. I meant that Loki didn't like Thor. He hated Thor. He hated his big brother. He wanted him dead. So, Loki comes up with the plan to get the Hulk to do what the Hulk does, smash. Now, of course, the Hulk wasn't Hulk smash back then. He was a relatively articulate being as the Hulk. Anyway, Loki got Hulk to do his thing, and that's what brings in Rick Jones. Now, if you don't know who Rick Jones is, go back and watch my episode on the Incredible Hulk series. Rick Jones is pretty much a douchebag teenager who's responsible for Bruce Banner becoming the Hulk in the first place. He's a real idiot. And here he's put together the Teen Brigade, which is basically a bunch of other snot-nosed idiot teenagers with ham radios. Do I sound like that guy? Get off my lawn, kids! Yeah, that guy. But, you know, they are. They have a bunch of ham radios, and they try to contact superheroes. Well, when they saw the Hulk was in trouble, they tried to contact the Fantastic Four. But the Fantastic Four, you know, they're busy in other dimensions or other planets or whatever. They don't have time for this crap. But intercepting the call was, of course, Iron Man, the Mighty Thor, and, of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And they all come together, and they try to fight the Hulk, and then they realize, hey, the Hulk's not that bad of a guy, just a little misunderstood. It's this Loki guy that's, you know, we gotta fight him, so the Avengers fought him. And they beat him, of course, because they're the Avengers. Or at least technically they're not the Avengers yet, they don't have a name yet. But at the end of the issue, they all come together and say, hey, we should form a team. And so they form a team. And the Wasp is the one that names them the Avengers. Now that brings me to another subject I want to talk about the Wasp. I'm going to get up on my soapbox now and talk about sexism in comic books. Now there's still a big thing. There's still, of course, all the misogyny that's going on in the world. But in 1963, it was even worse. You had Sue Storm over at the Fantastic Four going all googly eyes over Namor the Submariner, even though he wanted to kill her brother and her fiance and her friends. And now the same thing is happening with Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp. She's portrayed as boy crazy and clothes crazy, and she'd rather go out and party than fight the bad guys. And yeah, that's how it was back then. But the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, would persevere, and she would become one of the most important members of the Avengers of all time. And a team leader. In fact, she was team leader longer than any other Avenger other than Captain America. She did a pretty damn good job. And you know, she's cooler than the Ant-Man any day. She got no respect back in the day. But I'm going to step off my soapbox now. And thus, that's how the Avengers were born. Now, there's going to be a lot more Avengers down the line. Many, 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 many more Avengers down the line. But we're only talking about issue 1 now in the 5 original Avengers. But that is a nice segue into what my next episode is going to be about. It's going to be a look at a lot of the Avengers as I do the first of what will be many top 10 lists as I count down my 10 favorite Avengers. But for now, I'd like to thank you for watching this episode. You know the drill. Thumbs up, comment away, and if you don't already subscribe to the Mighty Marvel Mayhem Show, and you know you should, click on the subscribe button and tell all your friends. The more the merrier. Well, that's it, gang. See you in the funny pages.